And our pilots flying today are who and what are they flying? I'm going to let you and Fred take this over. Fred, this is your expertise. I understand the questions appropriate to this. I'm just going to enjoy the flying.
Okay, what are we flying today?
First pilot over on the left side scale unit 500D with essentially Raven mechanics. The engine in there is an OS-50 hyper engine, and he's using a Futaba 12-channel radio to control his helicopter. And the gyro on that machine is a Futaba GY401, and he's flying with power 50% nitro fuel.
It looks like that thing is being flown just like a typical regular scale helicopter, but the guy over at the right is doing everything untypical for a helicopter.
Absolutely, yeah. The two machines in the middle are flying aerobatic maneuvers, which we also call maneuvers. And the second machine over there you're seeing coming down right now, that's a TMX 600 nitro fuel-based machine. It's a 50-size helicopter, and the radio equipment is also used by made by Futaba, and the gyro there is Ryan's EG electronics.
Okay, I noticed one thing about the chopper on the right. I don't see any smoke trail. Am I guessing it's electric?
That is correct, yeah. The scale machine all the way on the right is actually an electric machine. And electric technology has become quite powerful in the last year. Electric power as well as fuel power.
How long does it take you to learn to fly something like this? I've flown RC airplanes, never tried helicopter.
That's a good question. So I think it varies a lot depending on how much time you can put into it. But you know, just learning to hover would be the first thing you would want to try. You know, it may take you know, a few weeks to a few months depending on how much time you can put into it. And one great way to learn is with simulators. Simulators are available to practice flying on your computer, and that is really a great way to acquire skill before you try your luck on an actual model.
I used to describe flying the radio-controlled helicopters as balancing a ping-pong ball with a billiard ball. Actually, a billiard ball balancing on top of a ping-pong ball. Is that about right?
Yeah, I've heard the analogy as well, absolutely. Another one I've heard is similar is like a marble on a plate of glass. You're trying to balance a marble on a plate of glass. Similar idea. It's quite tricky. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Now, I understand basically the controls are the same in just a smaller fashion.
Yeah, that is correct. So all our pilots out there, they're holding a radio that have two sticks, and the left stick on the radio is there to control the collective pitch and the rudder, and the right stick is there for the signaling pitch. And these are essentially the same controls as you would find in the full-size helicopter, although of course in the full-size you'd be operating the rudder with your feet, for example, instead of with the stick on the radio.
Okay, now the helicopter far right has got smoke trail. Is that still electric, or did they have something to generate the smoke?
Now the one that's all the way on the right, the scale machine, that's the electric one. The two in the middle that are flying the aerobatic maneuvers, they are both fuel-based. Called nitromethane or alcohol mixed fuel.
Okay, I didn't even see the one all the way down to the right.
We actually have 4 helicopters in the air all the way from the 2 scale machines on the outside and the 2 aerobatic machines in the middle.
What kind of contest have you guys taken in?
Contests, we used to have at the Bayside Field in Fremont, we used to have some what we call fun flight events where people would come and do various competitions. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that for a little while, but we look forward to doing that again sometime in the near future.
Okay, when you're flying the 3D maneuvers, do you ever run into the problem of getting disoriented? I can't follow myself.
Yeah, it's certainly quite challenging. Even just learning basic flight can be very disorienting at first. And during the 3D maneuvers, you'll see the helicopter will flip upside down and spin around its axis. So yeah, it's quite challenging to keep track of the machine that's flying through the air. It takes a lot of practice to get that good.
Yeah. And these guys are good.
They are indeed. They put a lot of time to get to this point.
Do you ever use the tripping-powered helicopters? I've seen models, but I haven't happened to see any around here today.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have one here today, but absolutely there are folks who build nice, beautiful scale machines that actually fly with turbine helicopter, with turbine engines. And those engines, they sound and they smell, just like the full-size helicopter. So it's a very realistic impression.
What kind of duration do you get out of? I know the fuel-powered ones would be probably 10 to 15 minutes. What do you get out of the electric?
Yeah, it's a good question. The first one, I would say it's similar. The flight time varies, of course, depending on whether you fly very aggressive aerobatics like you see at the helicopters in the middle, or whether you do more gentle forward flight. But yeah, it's in the order of maybe 5 to 15 minutes is kind of the range. like to do again, depending on your soul.
Much better than what they used to be a few years ago.
Absolutely, the technology really has come a long way. And it's not that easy to buy yourself a suit, hand assemble, and then flying these helicopters, and they fly really, really well. Quite well.
How long have people been doing helicopters? RC models, that is.
Oh, you mean, it's a great question. I actually don't know the answer to that. You mean actually since the very beginning of RC models? I know people have been flying helicopters, you know, for several decades, but it's been quite a while for them to be this capable as they are today.
Okay, I'm getting prompted from Willie Turner down in the background here. He says that Stanley Heller of helicopter fame actually started flying radio control helicopters in the 1950s. They had to be all one of a kind and all handmade.
Absolutely. Now, those times, you know, things like the aerobatic maneuvers you see in the middle, they were just not possible. Those maneuvers have been possible over more recent years with the advancements in machining developed to make very precise parts for these helicopters, and also the advancement of electronics to provide stabilization for these machines.
I don't know, these guys seem to be trying to see just how close together they can come without coming close together. Now I know we've got a slight breeze here today. It looks like to be about 6 to 8 knots. So does that give you any problems flying the model helicopter?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for this kind of machine, the wind is not that big of a deal. Especially for experienced pilots. Now there are some much smaller remote control helicopters available, and those would be more effective for
I've seen pictures in magazines of them going down to about an 8-inch rotor span for flying in your living room.
Yeah, they can be a lot of fun just for bumping around the house. You know, even those require skill to fly, so expect to have to practice with those a little bit before you get good at it. But yeah, they can be a great way to get started with radio control helicopters.
That's amazing how they're flying upside down and hanging by the rotor blades in the inverted position. It's just not possible with a helicopter.
Yeah, it does seem like some of these machines are physics. But you know, with these little models, you have a lot higher power and weight range that you would with a full-size machine, which is partly what makes these kind of doing
You have one basic advantage over a real helicopter too. There's no pilot in there.
Absolutely, there's nobody in there to get nauseous while you're flying around that aggressively.
So you say the first thing you got to learn to do is hover a helicopter.
Absolutely, yeah. We say that every flight, you know, starts and ends in a hover. So the first thing we'd be doing is just putting the helicopter in front of us on the ground, gently taking it off, and then trying to hold it steady. Getting comfortable with that very basic maneuver. It's fundamental to everything else after that.
I understand they used to use these a lot in the movies before all the movies went computer graphics. They would use the RC helicopters actually in movies.
Yeah, I think that's true. In fact, if you know what you're looking for, sometimes you can tell that it's a radio control helicopter.